Using the with proper nouns follows specific rules, depending on the type of noun. Here's a breakdown of when to use the with proper nouns. 1. Geographical names, countries. Generally, you don't use the with country names, but there are exceptions. Without the France, Japan, India. With the use the with countries that have plural names, the United States, the Netherlands, the Philippines. Descriptive forms, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates, the Czech Republic. Rivers, oceans, seas, and mountain ranges. Always use the Nile, the Pacific Ocean, the Alps, lakes and individual mountains. Do not use the Lake Victoria. Mount Everest, regions. Use the with well-known geographical regions, the Middle East, the Arctic, the Sahara. 2. Buildings, institutions, and organizations, famous buildings or landmarks. Use the with well-known buildings or monuments, the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, the Taj Mahal. Universities. It depends on how the name is structured. With the use the if university is followed by of the University of Cambridge, the University of California. Without the use no article if the name stands alone. Harvard University, Stanford University. Organizations. Usually use the with organizations, the United Nations, the World Health Organization. 3. Newspapers and media outlets. Use the with most newspaper names, the New York Times, the Washington Post. Without the sometimes with magazines or other media outlets, Time Magazine, National Geographic. 4. Famous works of art, literature, and music. Use the with the titles of famous works, if it's part of the title, The Lord of the Rings, the Mona Lisa. Without the for some works where the is not part of the title, Harry Potter, Romeo and Juliet. 5. People's names. Without the never use the with most people's names, Barack Obama, Albert Einstein. With the use the in specific cases to indicate a famous family or to differentiate between people with the same name, the Obamas, the Kennedys, the Michael Jordan I know. 6. Proper noun modifiers. When a proper noun is modified by an adjective, use the Great Wall of China, the famous Beatles song. 7. Organizations with descriptive names. Use the when an organization's name describes its function, the International Red Cross, the National Gallery. In summary, the is often used with descriptive or plural proper nouns, specific landmarks, institutions, and works of art, while singular names, like people, cities, individual lakes, and countries, typically don't use it unless the name itself requires it. Is the always necessary? No, the is not always necessary, and whether you use it depends on specific rules, context, and the type of proper noun you're referring to. Here's a deeper look into when the is necessary, optional, or inappropriate. 1. Situations where the is necessary. Geographical names. Certain types use the with specific kinds of geographical names. Rivers, seas, oceans, mountain ranges, the Nile, the Atlantic, the Rockies. Plural countries or regions, the United States, the Netherlands, the Himalayas. Famous landmarks and buildings. Often, the is essential, the Statue of Liberty, the White House, the Eiffel Tower. Newspapers almost always include the New York Times, the Guardian. Organizations and institutions use the when the name describes the organization's function or has a specific structure, the United Nations, the World Bank, the European Union. Families or famous groups. Use the for plural family names or notable groups, the Obamas, the Beatles. 2. Situations where the is not necessary. People's names. Never use the with most individual names, Barack Obama, Taylor Swift, Nelson Mandela. Cities, towns, and countries. mostly singular. The is usually unnecessary with the names of cities and singular countries, Paris, Tokyo, India, Brazil, universities and colleges, depending on structure. Without the use no article for most institutions where university is followed by a proper noun, Harvard University, Stanford University, with the use the only if the institution name is University of X, the University of Oxford, the University of Texas, lakes and individual mountains. Do not use the with lakes or individual mountain names. Lake Michigan, Mount Everest, magazines and other media. Many magazine names do not require the Time, Vogue, Forbes. 3. Optional or contextual use of the countries with descriptive names. Sometimes, the can be optional depending on formality or style. The Sudan, older usage, versus Sudan. The Gambia, often used with the versus Gambia, famous people in certain contexts. The can be used when referring to a famous person or family in a particular, notable way. The Michael Jackson we knew, distinguishing from another person with the same name. The Clintons are known for their political influence. Artistic or historic titles, when discussing artistic or historic figures. You might use the to highlight their role or significance. The Great Shakespeare. 4. Stylistic variations, in journalism and casual speech, the may be dropped in headlines or short forms. UN meets today, instead of the UN meets today. Conclusion, the is not always necessary. It depends on the specific noun and context. The article is mandatory for some types of nouns, for example, plural country names or rivers, unnecessary for others, for example, individual names, cities, and optional or contextual in certain cases, for example, artistic titles or famous groups. Knowing the rules helps decide when it's appropriate to use or omit the. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something new today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell notification so that you never miss on new updates. Have a nice day.